Tottenham are still 6th in the Premier League despite the 1-0 defeat last night against Brighton. Jose Mourinho has come out and said that the boys showed great spirit in the second half. The fans are very, very unhappy right now, and lots of very negative comments on social media. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. So another very, very disappointing evening for Tottenham last night, losing away at Brighton Hove Albion 1-0. They hadn't won a game at home for 14 matches, drawing 7 and losing 7. And of course, Tottenham turn up and they get their first win at home in 15 Premier League games. A very, very disappointing evening. A very poor display. Everything about it. Very, very frustrating. And Tottenham fans are very, very unhappy right now. Tottenham head coach Jose Mourinho was speaking to the press straight after the game, and he said, in the first half, I felt the team was probably too sad with the goal conceded and the situation. There was a lack of energy. In the last 25 to 30 minutes, they gave everything, but with limitations. We couldn't score, but at the same time, it gave them the chance to counter-attack. The boys showed great spirit in the second half, and the boys showed that they are suffering, and they tried to fight against that sadness. Jose Mourinho then went on to say, they tried, so I have nothing negative to say about them. I leave the game with a good feeling about my boys because they tried hard in the second half. The press then questioned Jose Mourinho about Gareth Bale, asking, has Gareth Bale stepped up to the mark? Is he pleased with him so far? And do you think that this loan move has worked out for Spurs and Mourinho? He said, I would say that we tried to start with a team who tried to give Heung-min Son the same dynamic that we're used to giving him, but there is no replacement for Harry Kane. We tried with Gareth Bale coming into these positions to try to connect with Heung-min Son, and that was not successful. I'm not speaking about Gareth Bale, I'm speaking about us. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, this was Brighton's first home win in 15 Premier League games at the Amex Stadium, drawing 7 and losing 7, since beating our rivals Arsenal in June 2020, and that was 225 days ago. Tottenham have won just 3 of our past 13 Premier League games in which Harry Kane has not featured, drawing 4 and losing 6, including none of our past 4, drawing 1 and losing 3. It would be very fair of me to say that Tottenham's form in the Premier League is just simply not good enough if we wanted to finish in that top 4 place at the end of the season, certainly, because we have now lost 4 of our past 8 league games, winning 2 and drawing 2, as many as in our previous 28 matches beforehand. This was the 11th time a side managed by Jose Mourinho had 1 shot or fewer in the first half of a Premier League match. 6 of those occasions have come whilst in charge of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Last night, Tottenham head coach Jose Mourinho broke a record because Mourinho has lost all 3 of his away league games at Brighton, the first time he has ever lost 3 consecutive away league visits to an opponent in his managerial career. And of course, our next game in the Premier League takes place this Thursday in 3 days' time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against our rivals, Chelsea. So Tottenham's starting 11 against Brighton last night was as follows: Hugo Lloris, Davinson Sanchez, Toby Alderweireld, Joe Rodon, Moussa Sissoko, Tongi Ndombele, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ben Davies, Gareth Bale, Heung-min Son and Steven Bergwijn. And then the substitutes were Matt Doherty, Harry Winks, Eric Lamela, Joe Hart, Eric Dyer, Javert Tanganga, Lucas Moura, Carlos Vinicius and Alfie Devine. Now, Jose Mourinho used 3 substitutes. Of course, Carlos Vinicius came on for Davinson Sanchez at half-time. And in the 61st minute, Gareth Bale went off, Lucas Moura come on. And in the 74th minute, Tongi Ndombele went off and Eric Lamela came on. Now, the match stats, Tottenham had 57% possession to Brighton's 43%. Tottenham had 8 shots to Brighton's 16. We had 4 shots on target to Brighton's 5. 2 corners to Brighton's 9 and fouls 11 apiece. So we started the weekend in 6th place in the Premier League, and surprisingly, even though we lost at Brighton last night, we are still 6th in the Premier League. We have now played 20 games. We have won 9, drawn 6 and lost 5. We have a goal difference of plus 13. We have 33 points. We are now 11 points off league leaders Manchester City at the top. They have played 20. They have 44 points. We're now 8 points behind 2nd place Manchester United, 7 points off 3rd place Liverpool, 6 points off 4th place Leicester, and 2 points away from West Ham, who are in 5th place. Arsenal and North London rivals are only 2 points behind us. They are in 10th. And, of course, our next game is this Thursday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Chelsea. Now, please do put your score predictions in the comment section below. Tottenham Hotspur against Chelsea. So last night, a lot of Tottenham fans took to social media, and some of them are blaming the players. Some fans are blaming the manager and the manager's style, and some of them are even blaming the board. Now, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who are you blaming, and how are you feeling about our football at the moment? Do you think that the trophies are coming? Do you think that Jose Mourinho will deliver a trophy, even though we're playing this boring, drab football that we get over the line in some games? And of course, it's very poor results and very poor displays like last night and against Liverpool. Now, there were hundreds and hundreds of comments on my YouTube video last night and my Instagram and my Twitter, and I'm going to read some of them out, and I'm going to give my thoughts on some of them as well. Let's start with Keith G, who wrote on YouTube last night, Gareth Bale coming back was a bad move, looks like a divided dressing room, no one's playing for each other, and Jose has lost the players. It's as simple as that. Now, Keith, I must say that when Gareth Bale come back, I was hugely excited. Of course, when he arrived back at Hotspur Way, we all thought that we have got this superstar Gareth Bale back, and we just haven't seen it yet. Whether we see it in the remaining part of this season is another thing to be seen, but surely he has to be stepping up in these games. Yes, he had a better game against Wycombe Wanderers in the FA Cup, but we need a lot more from him. We need him in Premier League games to be stepping up. And even in the last couple of days, prior to the Brighton game, Jose Mourinho said, it's now time for him to step up. Even more so now Harry Kane is injured and out for a couple of weeks. But he's definitely not the player that left in 2013. And I think a lot of us got carried away, and a lot of us thought that he is the player, returning that, in that form that he left, and he certainly isn't. So it'd be very, very interesting to see what happens. But surely Gareth Bale wants to stay at Spurs for next season. It works for him, definitely. Because why would he want to go back to Real Madrid and not play football again? But even speaking to Fabrizio Romano, the Italian journalist in the know, he said that if Gareth Bale wants to be a Tottenham Hotspur player next season, the board have already spoke to him and said, look, you need to up your game because, this deal cannot go ahead, with these types of performances. But, when he went off against Brighton last night, he actually looked, to me, I think he looked pleased in going off. And really, I want to see every single Tottenham player wearing that shirt. I want to see him, not wanting to come off, feeling disappointed about coming off. You want to help the team get the 3 points and get that win. So, there's a lot more from Gareth Bale that we need to see and we have to see. On YouTube, Harry the Hamster writes, no idea why Spurs fans are saying Jose out. We're not the type of club to keep sacking managers and expecting success. If we sack Jose Mourinho, we will become a mid-table team. Now, I said on the video last night that there is no way on this planet Jose Mourinho will be sacked by the Tottenham Hotspur board. I think the only reason that Mauricio Pochettino got the sack back in November 2019 is the fact that the board thought that we couldn't reach the top 4 and we were going down the league table, and they were worried about European football. You don't have a terrific stadium that we've got and terrific training facilities and pay the wages and everything that we do to not finish in Champions League places. And I think that whilst Daniel Levy and the board see that Tottenham are going in the right direction, i.e. winning trophies, i.e. being in Europa League places or Champions League places, Jose Mourinho will be our manager. There is absolutely no doubt about that. If we start going down the league table and it becomes beyond reach of us getting European qualification, then the board will look at it. But no way do I see that Jose Mourinho will be sacked, regardless of what all of us fans think. So many negative comments about Jose Mourinho on last night's video. Christian from the Netherlands writes, sack Mourinho with his anti-football. Wendy writes, yes, Jose Mourinho has to go. He is not the right man to manage Spurs. Sam writes, Jose out. Mac writes, disgraceful performance. There are just so many comments, very negative comments about Jose Mourinho. Brenda writes, Jose Mourinho is a disaster. English Real Al writes, Ben Davis should double up as a stand-up comedian. It was laughable. Wow, some of these comments, they're very, very honest. Honest is the word. Utter shambles, embarrassing, writes Ken Parker. Spencer writes, that was as bad as a 3-0 that we lost last year. Of course, it was last season. I think that was one of Pochettino's last games, a 3-0 defeat at the Amex Stadium. I remember that day. Very, very disappointing. Very, very poor. And of course, yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, Spencer. It does feel, very much the same. And when you think back to, that was about 14, 15 months ago. And, what's changed? What's changed? I completely agree. I said this on last night's video, that I felt that last night's performance against Brighton, the 1-0 defeat, it was kind of like the Sheffield United 1-1 draw at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which of course was Pochettino's last game in charge, and I do think that they feel very, very similar. Welsh Guy 2014 writes, if we did sack Jose Mourinho, who would you want to come in? I think that's a very simple one. I don't think he's going to get the sack anyway. As I said earlier on in the video, I think that Jose Mourinho will make sure that we are there or thereabouts to finish in the top 4 or finish in a Europa League place and get us into that cup final, which he's done already. But if it did happen and Jose Mourinho did get the sack, Mauricio Pochettino, no problem. No doubt about that whatsoever. I didn't want him to go. I thought he'd done wonders for the club, and I know some people will be really shouting at me saying, yeah, but he didn't win a trophy, he didn't do this, didn't do that. I could sit here all day and defend Mauricio Pochettino. He didn't spend a penny in 518 days and took us to a Champions League final. If he'd have been given the investment and he'd have been given the real chances, who knows what Pochettino could have achieved. And I think that he brought us on as a club so much. And I will always defend Pochettino. And I'm not just saying that because we're having a few bad results under Jose Mourinho. When Pochettino got the sack, I was asked on a radio station, and I was asked by many Spurs fans, who would you want in if Mauricio Pochettino got the sack? I said Jose Mourinho, because I want a trophy. I watch Spurs week in, week out, live, obviously not during COVID-19, but when I travel all around the world to see Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, I want to see trophies. I want to see us be successful. And when you see that Jose Mourinho has won all of these trophies, you think, well, bring the trophy winner into the club, let him win a trophy. Jose Mourinho might only be here for another year or two. But let him win a trophy. Let us have some success. That's what I really want to see as a Tottenham fan, because 13 years without a trophy, far too long. Andy writes on YouTube, if any Spurs fan still supports Jose Mourinho after this season's bore fest, then they're not true Spurs fans. Martin Big, he writes, I watched the first 15 minutes of this crap and I turned it off in disgust. It was pathetic. And I definitely do not like Jose Mourinho's defensive style. And I agree with you, Chris, on everything you have said. Roland writes, time for Mourinho to go. He's lost the team. As I say, there are so many negative comments about Jose Mourinho. I could just go on and on and on. This video could be a couple of hours long with the amount of comments that are on here about Jose Mourinho. Some people, as I said, are blaming the players. Some people are blaming the board, but the majority of the blame in all of these comments is aimed at Jose Mourinho. My comments straight after the game that I put on Instagram and Twitter were as follows. No belief, no confidence, no desire and no idea or plan B. Such a poor display from Spurs tonight. Not good enough. No doubt Brighton were the better team by far. Chelsea next at home. Now, some replies, well, lots of replies on Instagram and Twitter. Matt Collis writes on Instagram, Chris, you're normally an optimist compared to many. This speaks volumes about where Jose Mourinho has put the team. Now, Matt, I was just being completely honest, and I'm very, 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 very disappointed when Spurs lose, and I I don't even really want to talk about Tottenham when we lose. And I said on last night's video, as a young kid, when Tottenham used to lose, and we used to lose a lot then, you know, I wouldn't speak in the car, you know, to my dad the whole way home. He would always try to talk to me, and I'd always just not want to talk. I'd be really grumpy. I'd be very sulky, and you know, very sulky when we lost, and never understood why we lost. You know, when I look back, I think, well, of course we were going to lose with some of the players and some of the managers that we had at that time. But yeah, it's just the way that I feel at the moment, because it's the way that we are losing. It is the way that we are setting up. It is the way that when we go 1-0 down in a game, or even if it's 0-0, when you're watching a game and it's so frustrating, and you're thinking that we're not doing enough in the game to score a goal, it is not entertaining. It is just not entertaining for us. MJW_1981 writes Mourinho done. Kian writes Jose out. Paul writes Jose out. Lots of Jose outs on here. Andy writes, sad to be a Spurs fan at the moment. Josh Cowlin, I know Josh well. He normally comes on to the channel, or has done a couple of times. He's put, shocking, Chris. It's happened again to our football club. Well said. Chelsea will roll us over if we show up like we did tonight. Depressing. Also, I hope Tongi is okay. Giles writes, shocking display. Stewie writes, an awful performance. We are going backwards. More Jose's out again. There's 3, 4, 5 there. Jose out, simple. Utter bullshit, writes Giles again. Jose Mourinho, I'm not going to read that one. Couldn't agree more, Chris. Sadly, this will go on for a while. It is just so negative. All of these comments, very, very negative. Lots of comments on Twitter as well. Craig Dearman writes, something has to change and fast. Reese writes, can't see us winning in our next 19 fixtures. Paddy writes, 9th on Friday morning then. Jacob writes, Ben Davis was responsible for that goal. Ram writes, how can it get any better? The players available are what is there to work with. I can't see it improving with the same stock, whoever is in charge. Neil Taylor writes, enjoy Mourinho football. I don't know whether that's sarcastic or not. Jonathan Burns writes, it's manager changing time. Can't play out any team in this league. It's embarrassing. So many comments in here again. You know, David Gill writes, he's lost a dressing room. Lee James writes, no words to add. Sally Simpson writes, atrocious, Chris, just atrocious. Totally agree, Chris. Absolutely terrible performance again, writes R. Burlingham. Clueless and absolute shambles. It's non-stop. It is absolutely non-stop. Censored Clothing writes here, so Chris, do you still believe the trophies are coming? You totally got playing by Jose, mate. Do I see the trophy still coming? As I said, I think that Jose Mourinho will win a trophy at Spurs. Yeah, I do think he will. And I just think that it's going to be quite painful to watch on the way to winning a trophy. But yes, I do think that he will win a trophy. So that's what's being written on social media, or has been in the last 24 hours. Thank you very much for all of your comments on YouTube last night, and thank you very much for all of your support on this channel as well. We are very close to 45,000 subscribers on this channel now. I think it's about another 30 people we need for 45,000 subscribers. So if you can subscribe to the channel and would like to subscribe to the channel, please do. Also, please put your thoughts on the game and what you think of Tottenham's season so far, and comment on all of the things that I've commented on. Do you think that Jose Mourinho can still win a trophy? Are you still happy with Jose Mourinho as the manager or not? Do you see that Tottenham will make a change this season and bring in a new manager? You know, let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and of course, put your score prediction as well for the Chelsea game. You know, of course, to be played on Thursday. You know, that is a absolutely must win match. Not just because it's another Premier League game, and not just because we've lost our last 2 games. It's Chelsea. Every single player needs to turn up for that game and give 110%. I want to see, you know, real aggression on that pitch on Thursday night, because it is Chelsea. It is one of our biggest rivals. You know, you need to be up for games like that, and you know, Tottenham need to be climbing up that league table as well, because we need that top 4 finish at the end of the season for Champions League football. Anyway, let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. It's transfer deadline day as well, and you know, will Tottenham do any business? That'll be interesting. Players in, players out. Will Dele Alli still be a Tottenham Hotspur player at the end of today? Be very, very interesting. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Until then, come on you Spurs.